Welcome to our podcast. This is Rabbi Dr. Sid Weinberg, assisted as always by E. Say hi, E.
Hi.
Last week we went with E on his adventures this summer, and that was a fabulous podcast. And if you have not heard it, please go ahead and tune in to last week's podcast. This week, I would like to start with the Torah reading from this past Shabbat. In it, God gives the Jewish people a choice between the blessing and the curse, and good and evil. It always surprises me when people choose evil or death over light and life and good. And yet, nearly half the people in our country continue to do so for reasons that are not valid. Yes, I am talking about COVID. The fourth wave of COVID, totally unnecessary, has struck various parts of the country. The highest amounts of COVID are in places where you have leaders that are perpetuating distortions and outright lies about the vaccine, about wearing a mask for their own political gain. Yes, I mean you, Governor DeSantis of Florida and Governor Abbott of Texas. In order to choose what is good, we need to take action. There's a wonderful part of the Torah where the children of Israel are standing by the shores of the Red Sea. And they are praying and they are crying and, oh God, please save us. God, please help us before the Egyptians get here. And God finally says to Moses, Moses, stop crying. Stop praying. Lift up your rod and split the sea. Do something. And so oftentimes, our ability to escape from death is not through thoughts and prayers, but through action. God gave us the ability, the intelligence to defeat many of the diseases that confront us in this world. We need to use that ability. And when we have done so, we need to take action. Not only because being vaccinated saves ourselves, but because it saves those around us. Now, I've heard some people say that whether they take the vaccine or not is a matter of personal choice. That is not true. What movie you go see is a matter of personal choice. What car you decide to drive, what kind of house you want to live in, those are matters of personal choice. But when your choices affect other people, Jewish tradition tells us that we need to be cognizant, we need to be thinking about the effect that this has not only on us, but on the community. In my own personal life, my grandson in Milwaukee was going to a summer camp where someone's parents did not get the vaccine and sent their child with COVID to the summer camp. My 5-year-old son had to get tested, grandson had to get tested for COVID, which is a very unpleasant test for an adult, but even worse for a very young child who doesn't really understand. No one has the right to put my grandchildren at risk for COVID simply because they think it is their personal choice not to get the shot. That is selfishness. And it is choosing death over life. More and more these days, we see people who were not vaccinated in the hospitals, in the ICUs all over the country, begging for the shot that they refused to take when they were healthy. But for them, it's too late. The shot will not do anything if they already have COVID. We hope and pray the best for these people. We really do. Nobody wants to see anyone suffer. No one wants to see anyone die, especially when it is unnecessary. We have lost 600,000 of our fellow citizens in the United States to COVID. By getting vaccinated, we don't need to lose any more. The antidote is here. We simply have to make the choice. Go ahead, do your due diligence, study the vaccine, get correct sources, the CDC, the National Institutes of Health, not Facebook, not TikTok, not Twitter. Get the real information about the vaccine. And as God commands us, choose life. Thank you for listening today. Just so that it is understood, as we mentioned before, both myself and E have had COVID, and both of us are now vaccinated so that we never have to go through that again. Do the same. Help our community, help our children. Let's help ourselves and each other. Thanks for listening today. Join us each Sunday afternoon as we continue doing various podcasts on several topics, including Torah, Bible, and yes, every so often, E's adventures, because you never know with that E where he's going to end up next. Thanks again. Have a good week.